It is great to have somebody who knows what they're doing sitting on the table right across from you. Stay tuned for this one, everybody. If you've got a home and you need help maintaining your home, here's an expert that'll tell you how to do it right. Welcome back to Your Little Castle Show. Carter Rethwish, a.k.a. the Cardinal Cowboy. If you guys have seen me running around town, we've got local handyman St. Louis in the building. Nikki here is helping me to understand the in and outs of the inner workings of running it. We both have IT backgrounds, so our brains are programmed to think similarly, and it's essentially there's a process, but you have to get the job done. And if that process has to be modified, do so to get the job done. But I learned a lot during our first half hour. If you missed the first half hour, a lot of people do watch our full show. I'm looking at our stats, and we're getting thousands of hours a month now. People watching past shows that aired already on ABC. But if you want to learn about roofing, decking, siding, Handyman, they cover a gamut, right?
Yes, we do.
And there's so much you need to learn there. But stay tuned for this full interview here, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. But the first question I'd love to get into in the second half of the second half hour is, what's the biggest mistake people make when they're, hey, and I'm notorious. Like, I can fix anything up until I break it and make it worse. And then you got
and then you call me.
And you get a heavier bill. You're like, well, if you had just stopped where you're at, we could have saved you a lot of money. But what is the biggest mistake people make?
So, coming up with the right products and services. So, you go to, let's say that you go to the aisle with all of the different, just let's say caulks, for example. There's about 100 different kinds that are there. And so you're standing in front of there going, what do I need to be able to make sure
I thought there was like 5 flavors of caulk.
No.
Okay, that's where we get in trouble.
Is it indoor? Is it outdoor? Is it paintable? Is it not paintable? The list goes on, and
okay.
the combinations continue to permeate from there. So you can get the $1 tube, and it's going to start cracking in one season after rain, water, and snow and sun hit it, or you can get the really good stuff that's going to make sure that you're not going to have cracks, you're not going to have moisture, you're not going to have extra little visitors that come crawling in through.
I don't know what she's talking about. I have a cabin, and so sometimes we work on the cabin, and Mom lets us experiment with some of our handyman skills. But yeah, and I wanted to say that expensive caulk isn't $200.
No,
it's $5 or $9.
Yeah, and it is worth it. And so yeah, it might be that we need 10 because we're doing a bunch of windows, but we've seen the stuff that fails. We've experienced the things that fail. We know which paint that you try to put on the wall, and then a drop of water touches it, and it's just going to start bubbling up off of there. We know what the cheap stuff does and why it doesn't work. So we all love a good bargain, right? We all love a good bargain.
Save money, right? Yeah.
Yes. And so, but investing in your home and finding the right products and doing it the right way, think of it as an investment, not only in what are we going to do to be able to make sure that your home is safe, secure, and it does what it's supposed to do, but that you get that long-term value, and you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that caulk then for 10 more years. Don't just keep it off of your list. We have enough stuff we have to worry about every day. Let's keep things like that off of your to-do list.
Well, yeah, that's kind of where I was going. We talked about it a little bit in the first show. When my dad was the handyman, he could do a full construction job, but not after his stroke. And then we got into he can't use the bathroom. That's the way it is right now. It's got to have the new rails. It's got to have a walk-in tub, a walk-in shower. Mm-hmm. Who's going to do the work? And if I was going to try to do this, it was going to. How often do you see some people? And this is part of the handyman work you get. Oh, I thought I could do the little repair myself, and then they got to come in. Now you got to tear out all the work that they did. They wasted the money on the things they did buy to try to do it themselves. Mm-hmm. And you're starting over, and they tripled their cost.
Yes, and I mean, so say redoing a bathroom for being able to have accessibility. being able to make sure that you have the right drain, that you have the right slope, do you have the grab bars in the right spot, so that because it's not just do you have a grab bar there, it's how is it accessible so that it is the right level for the person who needs to use it, or is it that you're thinking about maybe in 5 years you're going to not only just have that person, but what would it look like for a caretaker to come in and be able to help with doing these things as well. So being able to think about things into the future for renovations like that is something that we love to be able to come in and help do. And thinking about, just like what you're saying, is aging in place and doing so in a graceful way that really makes sure that your house is beautiful and functional. Those are things I just love to be able to do.
Yeah, you talked about a few there. I was like, drain. Okay, there's one kind of drain. How many drains are there?
Oh,
there's multiple drains. The slant,
maybe more than caulk.
Wow. So yeah, and then the slant of the drain. What are you talking about? So then we hear the notorious drain that doesn't drain, and you see the little puddle off to the side because they didn't get the slope correct and put everything. Gosh, there's just so many things.
All the details.
These are things you don't want to work on these things on your own.
Yes.
Could cause many problems. Residential, commercial. Tell me a little bit about what you do there.
Yep, so we do it all. We're able to help, as we've discussed for this, a lot of our discussion's been all around residential stuff. We also do commercial work, so we're able to help with restaurants that need fixes, need work done, able to make changes to be able to help with build outs. We work with property managers for everything from short and long-term rentals. So we have a wide range of people that we're able to help.
Well, that's good, because there's so many people out there that need, like, it's how the biggest mentally I'm going, how often was it the case and we had a little problem, but we didn't have to call some big company to come in, and it's very often, it seems, they go, oh yeah, well, I get that, and then that. You know what? You need the whole thing redone, right? And then they're just trying to make a big sale and sell a $20,000 job when it could have been a $300 repair.
Yes, yep. But that's also what we want to do. We want to do the $300 repair before it becomes the $20,000 job.
Okay.
So, because we'd rather help you with that little one, because then we know that if we can build your trust through a little job, that when you do have that need for a bigger one, that we're the reliable partner that you already have. So yeah, we love that little $300 job. That's not little for us. That's a big deal for us, because that means that we're earning a customer's trust.
Yeah, I've heard these stories where they come in with this little pipe, and then they break something and spray stuff all over the place, and they say, oh, the whole thing must be torn out, $20,000.
Yep.
Not necessarily what you need. Well, with that in mind, tell me, I'm sure there's been a time where you've already had to help somebody. They're in a tough situation. Give me an example of where somebody was kind of in a bind, but you came through for them.
So this was pretty early on. I remember there was one lady who called me, and she could not find anybody to be able to come, just be able to fix her gate latch. Such a seemingly little thing, but it was frustrating her so bad. And so I looked at my schedule. I said, I'm going to have somebody 5 minutes away from your house on Tuesday. We'll be there. And so
very simple. Seems like simple.
Yeah, it seems simple, but it was such a big thing to her, and she was just so thankful that we were able to come and be there. So, there's a few other little stories like that too, but it's just so nice to be able to make sure that we can help customers make sure they're getting it done the right way.
Very important. With that in mind, then tell me, I can only imagine somebody, a business owner, somebody who's been in the corporate world. Give me an example of a challenge you've personally overcome within the business world that made you stronger, made you better.
Oh God, I feel like every day right now is giving me more fun examples of that, I guess. No, yeah. And so I love that I have such a strong background in business to be able, and operations is just having seen all different types of leadership styles in my career before this, to be able to know how I want to show up for my team, for my people, for my customers. It's giving me that great baseline. So now my challenges are figuring out the details of making sure that, what do I do to be able to make sure I have all the details in QuickBooks so that I know exactly what I need to make sure I'm making the right decisions for my business. So I think that's where a lot of my challenges are every day right now, is just is taking what I know from the overall of like how to approach a business versus like the day-to-day running of a business. The great thing is between CPAs, financial resources, and others, there are great people out there that are ready and willing to be able to help, because just like I've seen and my team has seen many things go wrong inside homes and we know how to fix it, those teams have seen things go wrong in businesses and they know how to help me make sure that I don't make those same mistakes. So that's great that I have others to be able to rely on, and making sure that I ask for help when I need it and not try to do it all myself, because I might be a little bit of a type A personality sometimes.
I know the type, and that can be true. What do you think your corporate background, your structured background from where you learned working for big companies, has helped you to understand and better work and help other people with what you do?
Oh gosh, absolutely, every day, because it's as I was looking at some of the what's coming over the next 30, 60, 90 days for our company, looking at some of those details, I'm like, I need to get some of these pieces ironed out better, because if I try to grow a lot bigger from where I am right now without making some of these processes really smooth, really well refined, and having other people who can pick some of these up for me, if we try to grow bigger, we're gonna have problems, and then I'm not keeping my promise to my employees. I hold very dear the promise that I have given to them, that I am going to help make sure they have a great place to work for many, many, many years to come. So that's a responsibility I take very seriously, and that I am doing everything I can to be able to make sure that I'm using the knowledge of what does it mean to be able to have a really great set of procedures, so that the next person can come pick that up. And sometimes what I like to tell, what I've told my teams in the past, is delegate yourself into a better job.
Right.
There's always another job. I promise. There's always another one. So what can I do to be able to help my team grow by delegating to them, so that I can continue to focus on growing the business? So I think that's some of what I've brought in from my corporate background to what I'm working on in my everyday in running my own company.
And it seems like you've got quite the match here for what you're trying to accomplish in your life. You put together that background, your history, your technical expertise, and it's all worked now together because, gosh, I don't know how many people. And I love my construction guys, but they get their mindset is big project, big things. This is what we focus on. So often, it's more often there's a much higher need, I think, for what you're doing, because we all have these little problems where there's a little gap between the door now, and you got to get that airflow.
Yeah.
The wind is blowing in the house, and it's a cold time of year.
Yeah.
Or a ceiling fan that breaks, or just an electrical outlet. These guys are like, don't even call me with that kind of stuff, right? But this is your bread and butter.
I love those phone calls. I like but I just have a list of a few things. I'm like, yes, those are the ones that we love. Absolutely. Like what we call like the true handyman projects, where it is that like 5 to 10 list of just like, these are the things, but it's the things that I walk through the hallway and I see that spot and it just drives me crazy. Or there's a ding in the floor and it's been on my list that we're going to get that fixed. What can we do to be able to get that little annoyance list that's either in your head or on paper? What can we do to be able to just eliminate that annoyance for you and make sure that list gets done?
Well, back to, again, you do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And it seems like you've kind of put that theory to work here and made some success.
I'm having a blast here, Carter. It's so much fun.
All right, Nikki, appreciate you staying here. We're going to about 15 minutes left. I want to talk some more community stuff. Over the weekend, we had some excitement. Josh Grayson came in town, and I'm going to jump through this video a little bit, but Carol Watanabe has been running Little Patriots Embrace now for 21 years coming up on, and they do a great job to help our military patrons with support. They go off to the military, and then who helps take care of they've got kids a lot of times too. Yes. So who helps them and helps take care of what goes on there to help support our military guys. Check this out.
He's a credible supplier, so we have a lot of stuff to do in the community, but it's getting to work with the great organizations like we have here. So give it up for Little Patriots Embrace, everybody. Since 2013. So my first event with her, a nice warm introduction. And we've got one of the best artists that many people have seen over the years here. Back in 2004, he was the New Artist of the Year nominee. He had a breakthrough video I Want to Live in 2005 gained public attention as the 4th place finalist on the 2nd season of American Idol. Is that pretty cool? You guys heard of American Idol's been around? We've had a couple of guys on my show. We got to get Josh on the show. We got a couple great crew here with them too. Sydney. And Nate and Sydney. And here goes to an awesome event. A little acoustic set for these guys. Yeah, with the whole get up. Get up.
His name is Carter Rathwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rathwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey everybody, Cardinal Cowboy here. I want to invite all of you to be part of my new team. No, you don't have to put on a baseball uniform and be a super fan. Now, it would be a good idea to cheer for the Cardinals, the greatest team in the history of the National League. But I'm talking about the Gold Cowboy team. You know, I love to help people follow their dreams and reach their goals in business and in life. So that's one of the reasons why I'm telling you about my friends at My Metal Pro. They help people like you and I acquire gold and silver with a membership that lets you safely buy, sell, and store gold and silver. They make it real easy to get started. My Metal Pro isn't like the big guys you see on network TV or the big coin shops that take a huge commission. So become part of my Gold Cowboy team. Scan the QR code or go to goldcowboy.com and check it out. Giddy up! Well, I love to do the stuff that we do in the community. Gold has gone crazy too. Look at the coins you can get. Check those guys out. Go to goldcowboy.com. But media, boy, my name has been built on media. Dad always had a camera in front of me. I hated it when I was a kid, but now it's Dad. Shout out to you up from above. He's looking down on me. But magnetize your media. I wrote the foreword here. This is the #1 seller on Amazon, and right there, Cardinal Cowboy. If you want to learn about how media can affect your business, we've got a lot of people come in here. They're like, "This is super valuable." Every once in a while, we get somebody that doesn't quite understand the concept, and that's okay. We'll explain to them the power behind mass media and what you can do to get your word out, because these days we've got social media and websites and everything else that goes into that, and it's just changed the game. But tell us, how has the technology world changed your business with regard to internet? And look, you guys got a beautiful website, but where would you start with technology and how it has impacted your business?
So we love about what, some of the things that we are provided for us to be able to run our business. We have a great platform where I'm able to keep track of everything that's happening in our business every single day. So I have, on the back end, the things that you don't see is, where you see our website, but the things that I'm doing is I'm able to communicate with customers. I know exactly who's at what job every day. I know all the details of exactly what's happening. So being able to have the technology so that I can keep track of a wide range of people and projects and customers and make sure that I can connect with them at the right time for the right things is just incredibly powerful. From a day-to-day perspective for our techs, make sure that they have the details they need to be able to go to the job so that they can run to the hardware store before going to a customer's house, and hopefully they get there with all the things that they need and don't have to do what the rest of us do and take 10 trips to the hardware store to complete one small project.
True. Been there.
But then some of the nice things about technology that is helping us as business owners, being able to use AI to be able to say, okay, here's the estimate that my techs and I wrote together. What are we missing from this? What is something that is a gotcha that maybe we haven't encountered before that we need to take into account here? So being able to use things like AI to be able to help us make sure that we're writing everything from better estimates to being able to make sure that we know all the different new things that have come out that might help us, whether it be make something really beautiful or solve a problem. It's so fantastic to have that at our fingertips.
Yeah, I was going to say, as you start to describe that, I'm going, what does it take to manage a crew? How many guys do you have out there in the field, where they're at, what they're doing, what job they're going to next?
Yes.
When you've got a big project, you're focused on one location, you've got to have your materials, and there's some organization that goes there obviously well, but when you've got a crew of guys, what tools do they have, what do they have on their handyman belt, and where's their next location to go, and are they on time for the next event?
Sometimes 2-3 jobs a day if we have a few of those kind of smaller list handyman jobs, or maybe it's one job that we are on for a whole week, but we need to make sure that we know all the things that are happening every day. We have the technology to manage that, and it makes it so much easier that we can focus on the job and not have to focus on the management of it.
Yes, make sure that you've got all the working parts, even if you have a light that starts flashing at you in the studio, right? Make sure that you have the right people and the right resources to get these things done. And technology does make that much more easy.
Oh gosh, it does. Absolutely. Just really gives us, it's as important as a drill for us, for the tools. Yeah. If you want to liken it to the one that you're using the most. I mean, drills are absolutely critical to have day in, day out on every single van. So that's our drill.
There you have it, everybody. Basics, down into including a drill. Well, tell me the process. If somebody says, this is obviously somebody I need, everybody, I could imagine, go down my neighborhood street, everybody has some need right now for a handyman. What would somebody do to hire you?
Come to Local Handyman St. Louis, localhandyman.com/St. Louis. On there, you can submit a question or submit a request right from the website. So scroll down just a smidge. So right there, book your service now. Click on that, fill out the form. It'll come right to me, and we'll be able to give you a call, talk about your project, get you scheduled for an estimate, and be able to get that booked for you. Or you can call or text 314-501-6062, and depending on if I'm sitting right next to the phone or if I'm at a customer bid, you'll either get myself or you might get our AI agent that is our answering service.
Oh, nice.
And so they'll ask you a few questions, and if you leave your information with them, that'll give me everything I need so I can call you back and we can jump right into the details.
Really taking advantage of the AI and technology these days, because now those guys, they sound like just like a real person. You can't tell the difference, but they go through a very specific list of things, whereas the average human, we're going to forget something, right?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. And so that way they know, they get your phone number, they get your name, we'll ask you about a project. So if you talk with her, her name's Heidi, is the nickname for her. But so
get to know Heidi.
Yes. But then it'll be me calling you right back, and
it's Heidi or the boss, one of the two.
Yes.
The CEO answers the phones right here for you.
That's what happens in a small business, right?
Local Handyman St. Louis, everybody. Well, then tell me, what's the biggest question people often have? I mean, everybody always argues about price. What's this going to cost? What is the biggest concern most people have with you, and how quickly it can be done, or what are the biggest things you deal with?
You've nailed it. So timeline and cost are the two big questions, and so a lot of people are worried about cost to be able to do a project and all the details that we've discussed before. So when our people show up, they show up in our vans, branded, our branded shirts, so you know that who's showing up is a person that is a part of our team. They're fully insured. They have all of the knowledge that they need to be able to do this job. We work with our folks also to make sure that if there's a skill that they don't have enough knowledge or experience in and they want to continue to get better, we invest in education for them. We want everybody to be able to continually learn, grow, and develop their skills. So that is a part of what you're getting with us, is that you have a group of local people who are always working on making themselves better because they want to be able to continue to grow in their skills also. And the technology, it's the technology, it's the vans, it's the insurance, it's everything that it takes to be able to make sure that we can show up on time when we say we're going to, and we're going to get the job done. So I know sometimes as for big jobs, there can be sticker shock on those. It does happen, but as we discussed, it's the investment and making the investment and getting the job done the right way so that it's not something you have to worry about again and it's off of your list.
That's important, yes. I like how you mentioned there, and help me think about constantly improving, constantly upgrading, constantly making better. Version 1, version 1.1, version 2. These are the little things that I learned. Microsoft didn't come out with the premier product out of the gate. There was always upgrades and changes and things they needed to do to improve, and that's the way any successful business will make it happen too.
And we do the same thing. We take, and that's, as we said before, that we stand behind all of our work. And so if there's something that we need to do to make sure that we're doing better in the business, we take that feedback very seriously and make sure that whether it comes from customers, from our employees, that we're always making those improvements.
Very awesome stuff. All right, tell me, how do you feel like you guys contribute to the community? Well, I know you do a lot of great work, but you also have an organization that you recently started talking about, what you're going to start working with. Tell me a little bit about that.
So one thing that we do for our employees also, along with other benefits, one of the things that we offer is a community service day for them. So they can go and be able to do a community service day for any charity that they would like to, and we'll pay for that day off. And then as well, next spring, we are going to be working with a local charity called the December 5th Fund. They are an organization that helps families forget cancer for a day.
Oh, wow.
So they have an amazing group of dedicated volunteers that come in, and whether it be that there's an organization that wants to do a community service day or just individuals around the community, they do everything from yard cleanup, home organization and cleaning, do small repairs around the house. We're going to be partnering with them to be able to get something that needs a little more work so that we can bring our knowledge, skills, and vans and get and help that family just be so much better of a place to be home and heal together.
Great organizations. Great job, Nikki. Stay tuned. Giddy up.